So I'm only gonna make one video tonight, and this is like gonna be about some Marvel stuff. All right, because I came up in the era where Marvel Comics was hitting its pinnacle of great writing, especially like X-Men and stuff like that. And a couple of my favorites were canceled in this era, so I want to talk about that. It got canceled between the 80's and 90's, like Cloak and Dagger, who apparently are having a TV show on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. And that's cool and everything. And since Cloak and Dagger technically were honorary X-Men and not X-Men, I guess it can be said that they were mutants at one time in the 616. Now I say that because the ass kiss and piss fucking contest that Marvel and Fox are having with the X-Men. I need to say this, and I'm not gonna make this a long video. This is just food for thought, so I can continue it another day or whatever. Someone sent me something on Facebook about Cloak and Dagger, not about the TV show, but just about the comic book itself. So Cloak was named Tyrone something, and Tandy is Dagger. Both of them were mutants. I believe Cloak was supposed to be hearing impaired because he really didn't speak much, and then they changed that and made it so that he can speak. And of course, most people who don't read Cloak and Dagger probably don't remember that. I don't remember when they changed it, but I know they changed it. And then at one time they actually swapped powers because Dagger, according to whoever kidnapped them, Dagger was supposed to have Cloak's power and Cloak was supposed to have her power. Don't ask. I'm just going with what I remember. Now, once they retconned everything in the Marvel Universe and destroyed the 616, I haven't been able to really collaborate because all my knowledge is knowledge that technically doesn't exist in the Marvel Universe anymore, which is like why I said, I stopped reading X-Men because they totally started screwing up my X-Men. When they made Colossus come back through the seas perilous, and he was only 6'5", and when he transformed, he was only 7 feet tall, which made him the same size as the Hulk instead of being bigger than the Hulk and actually living up to his name as being Colossus, because at one time, for humans and superheroes, Colossus was the tallest, unless you count Galactus and all these other universal beings like the Living Tribunal and shit like that. Colossus was the tallest superhero, depending on how you want to look at it. I said supervillain because technically the X-Men are outlaws. They're not exactly what you would call heroes by Avenger standards because they were mutants and they saved other mutants, but they were technically outlaws, where the original 5 X-Men became X-Factor, who became legal heroes, which was Scott, Jean, Warren, Bobby, and Hank. Let me give you their actual names. Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Archangel, who started off as Angel until Apocalypse got a hold of him. Or was it Sinister? It was either Sinister or Apocalypse. One of them got a hold of him, but it was probably Sinister working for Apocalypse. Yeah, it's a big clusterfuck there. And then there was Beast, before he was blue. Then there was Bobby Drake, a.k.a. Iceman. Now, before you go too deep in that, you should know that Beast was not blue until he joined the Avengers. And before that, somehow or another, Apocalypse did something to him, and he lost all his smarts. So, in order to get his smarts back, he did something, and he joined the Avengers, and then he did drugs to get rid of all the fur, but the fur exploded wrong and turned blue. But I'm sure since that's been probably retconned, none of that shit existed. Then you have other dimensions and other timelines and shit like that. And timelines and dimension, as Deadpool quoted, can be very confusing. McAvoy or Stewart. Now, the reason I brought that up is because the last X-Men comic book I read, all the X-Men were basically in an entrapment camp at the X-Men mansion. In fact, every mutant that ever existed that wasn't killed was there being watched by humans riding around in Sentinels with actually controllers, like in Pacific Rim. That's how they were driving the Sentinels. So I stopped reading X-Men after I picked up that book, and I look at them every now and again. And I got the X-Men vs. Inhuman, which I didn't really read yet. I'm promising you guys I'm supposed to be reading it. I've been going through a lot of stuff lately, so when I get to it, I will. And if I don't before I die, then so be it. But I want to talk to y'all about some of my favorite comics being canceled. Okay, so the Power Pack team was 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, and their last name was Power. Now, I forgot how they got their powers, but Power Pack was a pretty good comic book, and I think it had the potential of becoming a great team. However, Power Pack also teamed up with Reed Richards' kid, Franklin, who technically is the strongest mutant ever, because he was the first born mutant, not born from mutants. He was born by heroes who were not mutants, who got their powers by cosmic rays. Now, let me explain that, because his power is his imagination. He can bring anything and everything to life, which makes him way back one of the strongest powers. But Franklin only teamed up with Power Pack a few times before they were canceled. The Power Pack was a pretty good comic book, just like Exterminators was a pretty good comic book, but they only had 5 episodes, which is just like a mini saga. And then they were transferred over into New Mutants, and the only person who didn't make it was the little Asian kid who was stuck in a wheelchair, who could turn anything. He had the same powers as Forge, basically. He can create anything out of nothing. And so I don't really know what happened to him. But like I said, I stopped reading the X-Men in them because of the big clusterfuck, and because they kept switching off my X-Men, and they kept killing off my X-Men. When they got rid of the Dazzler the first time, I was pretty much sure that that was it for me, because Dazzler was always my favorite female hero, until they made Psylocke Asian. Then she became my favorite female hero, because she became a badass. Just like Jubilee was my favorite Asian hero, but when Psylocke became Asian, it was all she wrote right there. And then they killed her. Brought her back, and they killed her. And X-Men has only almost been canceled, maybe once or twice, but then they start coming out with new books. Excuse me. And then, like, as for Power Pack, Cloak and Dagger, Luke Cage, Silver Sable, Deathlock, some other guys, Cable himself. All those are comics that had got canceled, revived, and canceled, and revived, and switched up and canceled, and everything just kept going. So, this is just food for thought. I'm going to look into that to see what was going on before they retconned everything. And I'm Jay Swimshoes, Comfort Family number 2, be seeing you.